What happens when an airline captain dies shortly after takeoff? I'm gonna figure out in this pilot debrief. Sup aviators, my name is Dari and welcome to the pilot debrief.
3556, turn right, heading 040, runway 28 right November 5, clear for takeoff.
Right turn 040, clear for takeoff, 28 right November 5, runway 3556.
Right now, the tower has cleared them for takeoff from runway 28 right at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, and the Envoy 3556 is the call sign of the aircraft. And let's continue.
And tower Envoy 3556.
Can I help you?
6, when you return, captain is incapacitated.
Alrighty, so at the time, the first officer on the right-hand side clearly recognized that the captain is incapacitated and unresponsive, and then he letting the tower controller know that he needs to make an immediate return because the captain was in a medical emergency.
Right, Envoy 3556 as instructed. Go ahead and give me that right turn heading 040.
Right turn 040, Envoy 3556.
I maintain 5,000 feet and now let it ship you to Chicago departure on 125.0. We're going to get you resequenced right back in.
Okay, so right now the tower controller telling him to give her a right turn heading 040 and then continue climb and maintain 5,000. Except that he also needs to continue to follow the previous instructions. It's really important because they are not in a smaller airport. It's Chicago O'Hare. It's really very big airport. You got a lot of other planes there and taking off and the landing on the same time. And the reason is the for turn and the climb, it's gonna keep them safe and out of the way from everyone else. I mean outbound and inbound traffic. And now he's gonna change his radio frequency. Now he gonna call Chicago departure on 125.0 that they can get further instruction as a priority to land.
And departure Envoy 3556, 4,000, 5,000.
Envoy 3556 departure?
Yeah, with the 4.5, 5,000.
Envoy 3556, you're returning, is that correct?
Affirmative, as quick as possible. Captain is out.
Right now, the pilot checking in with the new controller and letting controller knows that he's still climbing for 4,500 for 5,000. Nevertheless, he doesn't declare any mayday call. And apparently, you can hear the controller asking him if he's planning to return back at Chicago where they took off from. And the controller also wasn't clear what he wanted to do next. She clearly observing him on her radar screens, but she wasn't sure what's going on.
Envoy 3556, Roger, expect runway 28 center, just sliding up 080.
Thanks, Roger, Envoy 3556.
Now, she's instructing the pilot and telling him that he could expect to land on runway 28 center, even though Chicago has basically 8 runways, and they had just taken off from runway 28 right, where they're gonna land next on runway 28 center, though it's a little bit shorter runway. Basically for Embraer 175, it's way too long. The fact is, Embraer 175 isn't a very big aircraft as you think. Now, the pilot is operating FMS operation and plugging in every essential information for landing into the aircraft navigation systems, basically which runway they wanna land on, and kind of final approach speed, winds, temperature, barrel reference, clean speed and flaps, slots, landing configuration, and more. Once they have everything done into flight computers, and then they can align with the appropriate runway.
Envoy 3556, speed is your discretion, you're going to go right in, just going to maintain 3,000.
Now 3,000, Envoy 3556, vector speed grade.
Okie dokie. Now she's telling him that descend and maintain 3,000 with the speed on your discretion. It just means they can descend for 3,000 with the speed he like to. But might remember from private pilot that there is very important general speed restriction from FAR 91 117A, which says below 10,000 feet, all aircraft should be 250 knots and slower. Typically big and busy airport like Chicago O'Hare, every aircraft coming in for the approach, mandatory to fly a certain speed at various points of the arrival, so that controller can maintain proper spacing between the aircrafts. And the last thing the pilot says is, vectors would be great. Now, he's just telling the controls that vectors would be a great idea for him. He's just saying, you can give me some heading to fly with. Because in the cockpit, there's a lot of things going on at the same time. Controlling the aircraft, checklists, switches. And the big thing, unfortunately, Captain is dead now because of the heart attack. He isn't there anymore, he's passed away. Right now, the first officer sitting behind the dead body of the captain. I know that was a literally scariest moment for first officer being sitting beside the dead body. Yeah, I know nobody wanna chill out beside the dead body. But the plane isn't climbing anymore, it's descending right now. So, they are flying Embraer 175, which is one of the smaller regional jet that only can carry about 70 to 75 passengers. And the target talking about flight deck, it's very small comparatively as another aircraft like A320, 737. It's very small. Now she gonna hand off him to the Chicago approach.
26 connect Chicago approach on 133.62.
2362, Envoy 3556. Chicago Envoy 3556 is 5,000 to 3,000. Envoy 3556, Chicago approach, Roger. Expect the visual approach runway 28 center. They give you discretion to 3, is that right? Yep, and we're out of 4,800 3,000.
The aircraft already starting a descent from 5,000 for 3,000, and now he's clear for the visual approach on runway 28 center. And the pilot may be thinking about which runway get himself back to the gate as quick as possible. The terminal on the Chicago is right in the middle of the airport, so he probably don't want to land on runway 28 left and any other runways, because it might take more than 20 minutes just to get back to the gate. So that 28 center is very good for him. And it doesn't gonna take much more time to just get back to the gate. So 28 center is pretty good for him.
Okay, and did you have any information I need to pass along to the tower in terms of paramedics, gate number, any of that? No gate number, and he's knocked out. We're gonna need paramedics working on everything right now. Okay, thank you.
Alright, now controller is asking the pilot what you gonna do when land. Just tell me your plan ahead. Basically, they are in a medical emergency and they need paramedics at the ground as soon as possible, because nobody knows that how severe pilot is. One thing that really might have helped him, it could have been asked to the controller, hey, could you figure out what gate they want me to go to? But make sure they have paramedics standing by. He's doing such a great job handling the situation and coordinating all of the system on board in the aircraft.
Envoy 3556, we can turn base just as soon as you'd like for the visual approach. You let me know when. Let's start in now for 3556. Okay, Envoy 3556, right turn heading 180 down to 2500. Call the airport when you see it. Alright, heading 180 down to 2500, Envoy 3556.
Alright, so what's happening right now, the controller is telling the pilot, you can turn for base leg just as soon as you like for the visual approach on runway 28 center, and whenever you're ready for base turn, just let me know. And the pilot says, I'm doing now. And then the controller has given him a specific heading to fly with, like heading 180. And then he also says descend and maintain 2500 for the final leg of the traffic pattern. And he also tells him when you roll out from the base turn, just look out the window and just let me know whenever you have airport in sight. Because when you get a pretty good weather condition where ceiling is higher and pretty good visibility and you can see the runway visually, the quick and faster way to get there on the ground is to fly a visual approach. It means pilot gonna fly with a visual reference to fly the aircraft where he needs to land.
Boy 3556, right turn heading 250, let me know when you see the airport. Heading 250, Envoy 3556. Port side for Envoy 3556.
Right now he's saying him to turn right heading 250 for the final turn. Basically heading 250, gonna align himself for the runway 28 center. Right now he's clearly seeing the airport and he's getting back to the controller. Envoy 3526 has their airport in sight.
6 rudder, clear visual approach, runway 28 center, speed's your discretion. Clear visual 28 center, Envoy 3556. Envoy 3556, connect tower now, 120.75, we'll see you. 2075. Tower Envoy 3556 is visual 28 center.
Envoy 3556, so here tower, wind 290 at 13, gust 20, runway 28 center, clear to land, and just advise if you need any assistance.
Clear land, 28 center, and we'll exit. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to have to move the captain from the seat and get to the gate.
Right now the tower has cleared the aircraft to land on runway 28 center, and tower is also saying just let me know if you need any assistance on the ground, and the pilot's saying we'll off the runway, and once we stop he might have to move the captain from his seat. You might be thinking right now why he needs to switch the seats. You need to know one thing, when you're sitting on the right hand side there is a less ability to steer an aircraft on the ground. However, on the left hand side where captain sits, basically you have right there tiller, and that gives to the nose wheel much greater control with the A's. So after the landing, pilot has to pull up the runway, stop, and once they get stopped, he has to move to the captain in order to get there at the gate.
Roger. Envoy 3556, when able, make a right turn to exit the runway, and then whatever is easiest for you, if you want to make a left or a right turn on Papa, whatever works.
I'm trying to make a right turn on Papa, then I'm going to stop the aircraft so I can get in the left seat.
And just advise if you want paramedics out there now, or if you want to do what you need to do, just let us know.
He did outstanding job, but despite his best efforts, and unfortunately the captain has passed away. If you enjoyed, be sure to check another one on the channel, and I'll see you there.